Welcome to Arbitrage with your host, Karina Bao. Today we're going to be covering some news coming out of TSMC about their new $100 billion investment into TSMC Arizona. Just to wind the clock back, TSMC has already invested $65 billion into 3 fabrication plants in Arizona. The new $100 billion investment will be going into 3 new fabs, 2 new advanced packaging facilities, and 1 R&D center in Arizona. This comes after Trump has made repeated statements about how the CHIPS Act has been a disaster, and we could say that TSMC is making really proactive decisions to invest further in the US and in TSMC Arizona. One thing that I wanted to share that I think has been overlooked in the news cycle is that the CEO of TSMC has repeatedly said that the most advanced node R&D and the most advanced node production will continue to be in Taiwan. This is something that C.C. Wei, the CEO, has mentioned at numerous and most recently at the Q4 2024 earnings call in January in Taiwan, which I had the chance to attend, and this point should not be overlooked. We can see how this is manifested in the 3 fabs that are already slated in Arizona. The first one has come online around December 2024 and has been producing at the N4 node. The N4 node is what we see in Apple's iPhone 15s, and as we know, that is not at the cutting edge. The second fab will be coming online in 2028, and that fab will be producing at the N3 node. The N3 node is, again, what we see in the Apple iPhone 16, and by 2028, that will also not be at the cutting edge. And then the last fab will be coming online, drumroll please, by 2030. And that fab will be producing at the N2 node, which is what we'll see likely in the Apple iPhone 18. And so that would probably come out sometime in 2026. And this fab, that last fab in Arizona that's slated, would not come online until about 2030. So there's about a 4-year lag time from what is in TSMC Arizona, what's being produced at TSMC Arizona versus what we see as consumers for the cutting edge. And so we'll still see these cutting edge products, except those products will be, the chips in those products will be coming from TSMC, TSMC fabs that are still in Taiwan. An additional thing to note, I think, coming from this news is right now the fabs in Arizona are actually a relatively small percentage of total TSMC production capacity. Some of the most recent stats are that TSMC produces about 16 million 12-inch wafers, and that turns out to be about 1.3 million per month. And the TSMC Arizona, I think first fab is going to be producing about 20,000 per month. And so that is just a small fraction of what TSMC as a whole is producing. So when people are, again, having conversations about how much is being onshored onto the US, how much, pressure, TSMC has to bring production overseas, that is, as we can see, a very small dent right now. Obviously, with the new $100 billion investment, and that number puts, we will have a total of 6 fabs in TSMC Arizona. But again, there's going to be a long lead time, so to speak, on getting those fabs online. TSMC right now has 11 or 12 fabs total around the world, including 1 in Washington, 1 or 2 in China, and then 9 fabs in Taiwan. So we'll see how they recently announced $38 to $42 billion in capex over this in this year in 2025, and how that shakes out across these different geographies. All right, that's it for today on the Arbitrage podcast. See you next time.